Hey, Paul, what's your favorite fruit? Lemon? Lemon jelly bellies. Wait, that's that's not a fruit. Quit asking you about it then. What? Lemon jelly bellies. Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Code Coder. I'm Rob Fitzgerald, here to make you great and help you innovate. In this episode, we will discuss the class composition model, originally presented by Mr. Liu of Loyola High School. If you are asked to write a class on the AP Computer Science free response question, this is how you should think of modeling the class. It just gives you a great image, a template for how a class should look, or an outline of one that the free response is offering you. You could actually sketch this up on a scratch piece of paper or on the other side of the fold. We will also talk about a is-a and a has-a terminology when it deals with classes. So you better understand how classes work together. Most of the time, when I start a program, I like to draw it up first. But that could mean two things, the front end or the back end. The front end refers to the button, images, backgrounds that users or your apps may see, or users of your app should see. The back end usually refers to the code, data, or processes that are taking place away from the view of the user. Here is a great front end model that I created for the 2-minute warning. This is actually not the 2-minute warning. This is actually a video app. I tried to take the iClass Husky Tech Player online. Take a look. So you would do something like this. This is Adobe XD, and I'm now trying to figure out what the look of my app's going to be. As you can see, I was going to try to make the Husky Tech Player into a MOOC or into an app, and it would look something like this. I never finished it. I got the front end done. I never did the back end. So maybe I will use today's class comp model to start coding up the back end, and we'll make an app out of it. But anyway, so if you do the front end, you have, here's, this actually works. All right, the button animations, you click to see it, and all the, it's really going to look good. It's a total prototype of a working app, but it's not even close. The back end is an extensive architecture of objects, databases, and methods that have to work together to give the front end user what they want. It has to work seamlessly with the front end. And usually, the easier the app is to use means even more work was put into the design of the back end. That's why we need to spend some time thinking about back end design before we get to coding. So let's get going. Okay, so basically, I will close this. That is the front end, and I will go into something. Now, we're going to design a new class from old classes, okay? And I'm going to chart it up, but think of this like taking the AP exam, all right, and trying to figure out what they want on the AP exam, all right? They're going to give you a very extensive paragraph and charts of what class they're trying to put together, and it'll get confusing, and it'll take you a lot of time to get your head around it if you don't chart it up or use this class composition model that Mr. Liu put together, which is very nice. This will be awesome. So I'm glad you guys came and watched this today. All right, so let's take a look. We have my phone. Now, remember, there was a time where you had a phone, a camera, and an iPod for your music player, and you have all those in your pockets. And I think that's why cargo pants came along, because you could stuff all that stuff in your cargo pants. And then Apple came along and put it all in one piece of equipment: the phone, the camera, and the music player, the MP3 player. So it was very cool. So what we're going to do is that we have a phone. If you remember, we have phone. Here's our instance variables and our constructors and our getters and setters into string. All right. And remember, we had the memory capacity. All right, but the iPod had an array list of songs, and it had a string color, and songs themselves had a title, an artist, and a duration. What I want to do today is put all that together and write a class, not here, but on the board over there. Okay, and see if you could get this class composition model down to quickly get your head around a class that's given to you or an app that you want to create. Okay, so I think that's what we can do now. All right, so let's go over to the board and start this bit. Okay, all right, so let's see here. Let's go here. I'll run over here. All right, so we're at the board now, and let's create this class composition model. Remember, you don't have to do this on your AP test, but it sure would help to get your head around the information very quickly. And by the time I get done doing it, you're going to see that some of the algorithms that you need to create for your classes are going to start coming to your head before you even finish this. Okay, so it just gets your head going towards what methods, what processing methods you need, and whatnot. So let's go ahead and create the model. Let's draw a box here so I know where I can actually write. Something like that. Make sure that got in there. Looks like it all did except for that port over there. All right, I'll make sure I don't go over there. All right, so let's start thinking about a class. Now remember, we had the big three and the dynamic duo and the brain and stuff like that, but this is more like, this is class composition. This is like your English class where you're going to outline. You're going to quickly take notes and outline a class and what it should be, okay? And so this is the first thing you should do. Number one, draw class name. Okay, the class name is important because this is how you're going to instantiate objects of the class. So you got to know what the class name, or you got to know what they name it. They're going to give you points for being able to instantiate a class. Make sure you know the name is. All right, so in this class that I'm going to write, remember I don't have this written yet, and this is going to be just a basic outline of it, and we're going to add stuff to it. And as you start coding, you'll start adding stuff and say, oh, I actually need this. It's not going to be a complete essay here yet. It's just going to be thoughts. All right, so I'm going to call my class my phone. Okay, and so now you'll know you'll use my phone, iPhone equals new, my phone, so you got to know the name of it. Put that down first and foremost. Okay, the second thing you got to do in class composition model is draw your instance variables. Make sure you spell it right. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw that. Now, in computer science, they have a way of showing data, and they use a little thing like this. They go like this. And in fact, Oracle, the great database company, actually built 2 buildings like that. That's data. All right, and so if you remember right, my phone had 2 pieces of information, and so I'm going to draw 2 of these data. You don't have to draw these; you can just write it, but it's a good visualization tool. All right, and so my phone's going to have a string of, let's say, color. Okay, so you're able to color your iPhones or your iPods or whatever. Okay, so we had that. And then I had in my phone an integer, and the integer was the memory. Okay, so you can quickly write this down as you start going through these classes and picture and get a picture in your head what it needs. Now, what also happens, I'm going to combine this phone and the iPod, and I want to create a song list or a song library. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that here. Remember, I'm just doing all our instance variables. Okay, and that's going to be an array. And let's give it 7 songs to begin with. Okay, there's song 1, song 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, and remember this is going to be an array of songs. All right, so I'm going to go setting this up. And so you can tell if we get to coding, we're going to have to write an array, and then that's how to declare what type of data it is. This is the actual name of the array, and we're going to call it give you some very vital information about your AP test, and so stay tuned. All right, so the third piece that I want to do is, now remember, I'm not going to constructor or toString. This is very quick. Let's get to the big part is the processing methods, or the brain. Okay, so let's draw brain. Okay, and we want to definitely know the input and the output models. Okay, and so if you start thinking about this class, you start thinking of maybe things it might have. These input-output models, remember how I did them? I did them like this. Okay, and let's say I have 3, I have an idea for 3 methods to do. Okay, the very first one is, let's just say I have to go through these songs and I want the total playtime of my entire library. Okay, so I'm going to do something like, let's make a method called total playtime. Okay, so if I get total playtime, I'm not going to bring anything in, but I'm going to kick out some data. All right, and I could draw this up and go something like this. And again, this just helps organize your mind. And by the time I get done doing this, I write my algorithm so fast. All right, so it's going to kick out 1 bit of data. It's going to be an integer. And it's going to be total time. Okay, so there you go. That looks really good. All right, what other things I might do? Well, I might do a delete all songs. Okay, which wouldn't take any input, and it wouldn't take any of this. It just go and delete your library. Okay, so you can, I think I forgot that in the last video. You could have one that doesn't have any input or output. Okay. And then let's say for the last one, let's say you're going to make a playlist, okay? Okay, let's make it genre of songs. Something like that, okay? And this one obviously would have an input and an output. So the first thing it would have would be probably someone clicking or writing a string of what type of genre it is. So I'm going to put it like this and like this, and it probably will bring in a string of genre. Something like that. Okay, it'll have an output of songs. It'll go through your library and figure out a certain, and it'll have an output. And in this one, let's have an output of an array list. Okay, so that's song 1, song 2, song 3, and song 4. And this would be of type array list. And remember, it's going to be array list of songs. Okay, and it needs a It also needs a name, so the name of it would be genre. Okay, there it is. Now this is a my phone, okay? And I say that with purpose here because, yeah, if we come here, let's do this. There's a term in computer science that they like to quiz you guys on. It's ISA. Okay, let me make this a smaller I. Let's just erase that and start that over. Okay, yeah. So this is, okay, a my phone. But my phone is going to have another class in it, a song class. In fact, let's draw that up and what that looks like just to make sure that we know what that looks like. Okay, so that's three things. So the fourth thing we want to do, draw has a class. Okay, so now we have these things, these terminology, ISA and HASA. So my phone has a song class that comes into it. It is a my phone. All right, so let's go ahead and draw the song class up right in here. All right, and let's see what that looks like. And this is how this gets your brain flowing. You start learning how to write these algorithms if you do this. All right, so I'm going to put in song. Now, if you remember, song had two pieces of data. Okay, and so I'll go like this. And if you remember right, songs had a string, title, and it had a string, artist. Okay, now it has some methods, but I want to kind of coincide this with this total playtime. So it has to have a way to find each song's time. All right, so the one method I want to kind of write, I know I want to write, is, let me get this. Is get playtime. Okay, and get playtime, if I'm using the word get, it's a getter, so something's coming back out of it, an output model. Okay, and the output is going to have an int of total time. Okay, so are you seeing that? Yeah, it looks like I'm on there. All right, so I have, each song has a method I could use to get its total time. So I start talking about playtime. I start thinking, oh, okay, so all I have to do is instantiate all these songs and call their get playtime method. So how can I call these songs? Well, they don't have names. Okay, we don't know the names of them, but we do have a generic name, don't we? We have something like this. Song. Whoop. Yeah, actually that's actually not right. That's actually not what it is. Okay, it's actually a lowercase. Okay, and if we loop through using a for loop, and we just have to go dot get time, get playtime. Okay, so we go through and get every one of their playtime, and if we're adding them up, we could always do something like total time plus equals song library. So this one's already coming together just because I saw the song class. It's a has a, so my phone has a class, and I could call to it because I have this song library, okay, this array of songs. So total time plus equals song library dot get playtime. That should kick out the total playtime. Obviously, you'll have a return on here. Okay, and we'd return total playtime. All right, so that's pretty awesome. So like I said, just starting to do class model composition gets your head going in where I can go with starting to write the algorithms. You don't have to write the algorithms here. I'm just saying, once I saw that this had a get playtime, I'm going to use this get playtime. Now remember, I got to still write that too. But this is where my head's going. And on the AP test, you could quickly see where's their ISA, where's their HASA classes, and you could kind of get your head around their free response questions. Okay, so there it is. That is Mr. Lou's class composition model. Should help you out a ton. All right, let's go back over and see if I could give you some more information about today. Okay, back. All right, so let's go up here. I think there were some things I wanted to talk to you guys about with that class model. First of all, we got a email from our counselor last night, and that there's a demo. Okay, so an AP 2020 exam demo. Okay, you probably got emailed this. If you're not getting the emails, then you need to go in your College Board. Paul, can you be cool a little bit? Oh, okay. All right, cool. So I did this already. Basically what they're gonna have you do is write this stuff on paper, take a picture of it, send it in. Okay, so you're not gonna be doing you're not gonna have any IDE, no Code9 or Cloud9. You're gonna write it on paper, and that's why we're doing these class method model. You're gonna have to try to, run an outline so you know what their class is about. Now, your test is next Friday. I am going to put some questions up on video. I'm going to solve them for you and let you see what they're like. I'm going to actually code some stuff live. That's in some of the next videos. I'm not going to do it now, but between now and Friday, you're going to have some more videos to study with, and it should take you a long ways towards getting that 5. Okay, all you're going to do is write methods. Okay, let me scroll that back and go back over here. And then since I'm live right now, I have some students on Google Meets. We're meeting. Let me see if there's any questions that anyone had so far. I have someone said hello. Little Lek Number said hello. Hello, Little Lek Number. All right. And let's go to my Google Meets, make sure there's no questions in there. By the way, if you're in Google Meets, go ahead and put here in the captions so I can see that you're here. And let me go back to this, and let's see if I could maybe sign this show off. Okay, so like I said, if hopefully that'll help you out. I know when I was in school, I didn't like writing outlines and stuff like that, but it helps out a lot. And since there is a time limit on your exam, you're going to have to get your head around these free response questions very quickly. And if you just use Mr. Lou's class composition model, it could quickly get your head around what the question even is. It sometimes takes you a while just to even get what the question is. Okay. All right. So let's see. That does it for this episode. Hope that you enjoyed it. Remember, always trying to make you great and help you innovate. So until next time. What? Paul, what? Oh, yes. And if you have questions, you can leave comments below or go to the website at www.themightycodecoder.com or find me on Twitter at themightycodecoder. Thank you for watching. Just be cool, man. Just be cool.